Hey, what's up, guys? This is EJ. Glad to bring you guys another vlog video, and this one is pretty much going to be about my car history. And this is something I actually enjoy talking about, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy. My very first car, I was about 15, 16. It was a 1990 model Mercedes-Benz 300E. Had a V6 in it. I didn't know anything about cars back then. I basically just wanted it to look good and be able to pull in girls. That was about it. And back then it was 2002 through 2003. Growing up in the hood, I was like, well, everybody else, the girls seemed to like big rims, big speakers, and clean cars. So, I'm gonna do that too. I didn't get the rims because I was working part time. I was in high school and I couldn't afford it. But I did get somewhat of an upgrade in my stereo. I did put in Pioneer speakers, and I also put in a Pioneer 6 disc CD changer. It lasted for a while until I got in a wreck. A guy backed into my Mercedes and totaled out the whole front end, which actually totaled the car. So I went from that Benz to a 1988 Thunderbird, Ford Thunderbird, had the V6 in it. And that's when I got into racing. I actually raced against one of my coworkers who had a late 80s, early 90s Chevy Camaro Z28, had the V8 motor in it. And I lost to him by half a length, but that was my first street race. And also I had a better system in it as far as the stereo goes. I had a JVC single DIN unit. I wanted to flip out the DVD player with the flip out screen, but again, I couldn't afford it. I was in high school working part time. But I did get a single DIN JVC unit, and also I ended up getting a Sony Explode amp, which died and was replaced by a Power Acoustic amp. And I also had a kicker, set of kicker 12s. Two of them to be exact, in the sealed box. They were rated at 300 watts apiece max, and they were 8 ohms. I mean, that's not good by today's standards, but back then I thought it was awesome. I mean, everybody else seemed to be getting stereos and rims and stuff, so I thought I was following the crowd. And then as far as the wheels go, well, I did get chrome, but they weren't wheels. They were just hubcaps. So I ended up getting the hubcaps that kept spinning when your car stops. I think they were called spree wheels or spinners. Yeah, that was real popular back then. I actually had those. Took me about 6 months to save up for them because the hubcaps were like $60 a piece. So I saved up, got those. And then that lasted until pretty much my first year in college, where I got a different car. It's a 1994 Mercury Cougar. Had the V6 motor in it, and it was slow. Very slow. But I enjoyed it for what it was. And around that time, I actually was into the Fast and the Furious. I was starting to get bored with trying to get big rims and, trying to be about that gangster life. It just wasn't for me. I wasn't cut out for it. So I started doing what I saw on Fast and Furious to the Cougar. Thankfully, I didn't have the big giant wing on it. I couldn't find anyone that would sell a wing to me anyways. So that was probably a good thing. But I did get a K&N drop-in filter, and I did get a Flowmaster muffler. Not the exhaust, just a muffler and a aftermarket tip. And I did have neon on the outside of it as well as on the inside. It was yellow. And the system that I had in my Thunderbird, I carried over into the Cougar. And I kept that car until a little bit before I graduated from college. Long story short, car overheated. I raced it against a Pontiac GTO. Popped the motor. It was done. It was done. And then right when I went to get the car back, or should I say, right when I went to get my stereo out of the car so I could sell it, I didn't even get to it. because apparently someone broke in and stole everything. So I was like, okay. Funny thing is, I kept the Game Boy Color with, I want to say, one of my Pokemon games was in there. And I also had a necklace, a sterling silver necklace. They stole the stereo, they stole the Game Boy, they stole the Pokemon game, but they didn't steal the necklace. Which is good because my mom bought me that necklace. She would have been livid if I let that get stolen. Anyhow, back to car stuff. Got rid of the Cougar. Or should I say the Cougar died on me. And then ended up sharing my parents' cars for a while, namely my mom's. First, it was a 96 Buick Roadmaster. That lasted until after I graduated from college. Then the motor popped on her. Which, that was due to lack of maintenance and lack of repairs. I wasn't racing in that Roadmaster. I loved that motor. It was a V8, but it was too big. The car itself was too big, so I wouldn't be racing in it. After that, my mom ended up getting a 2003 Mercury Grand Marquis. I want to say it's the Ultimate Edition because that thing is decked out. She still has it today, but it is decked out for stock. And I didn't do anything to it. It was my mom's car, and I respected her enough to not do anything to it. So that's when I started saving up my own money. And I ended up getting my own car, which is actually the same car I have now, that Honda Civic that you guys have seen in my previous videos. My intentions actually were to keep it stock, but as time went on, I started modifying it more and more and more until it's pretty much where it is now. Now, can I say I love that car? That's actually the best car I've ever had in my life. So in the list from best to worst, the cars that I've had as far as which ones I like most and which ones I like least, the Honda, then the Thunderbird, then the Mercedes, then the Roadmaster and the Grand Marquis, which are my mom's cars, those will be tied, then the Cougar. Yeah, I just hated that Cougar. Yeah, it was good for getting around town, but it was slow for racing, and I could barely fit my stereo in it, which is like 212s and 1 amp. I could barely fit that in the trunk because it was so small, and it was a gas guzzler. So how funny is it that my first 4-cylinder car, which is a Honda, will actually be the most enjoyable out of all the other cars I've had, which are V6s, and my mom's were V8s. It's crazy how that works. But in a nutshell, that's my car history. And I just thought I'd share this with you guys as another short vlog to keep my channel active. And I want to say to my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and supporting me. I will do my best to put out more interesting topics as soon as I can. I'm just getting the feel of putting my face actually available for the world to see. Still a little nervous about it, but overall, I enjoy doing these kinds of videos. So yeah, I still have the Honda. As you may know, I do have a Corolla also. I will definitely get a video of the Corolla soon. I just have to be able to do it when my wife is away, since it's her car, not mine. So this will be the end of my video. I'm starting to ramble on a little bit now, but thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope y'all have an awesome day. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.